Hello, it's Erin. I'm back. I'm here with another video for you guys. This is a little original. I'm going to talk about some books that I read by this specific author that he inspires me as a writer, and I love his books a lot. I've read most of them. I've watched most of the movies, so I want to talk to you about them. Again, this is a very original video that has never been done. Some booktubers have mentioned his books briefly, but I want to address some of his books here that I've read and maybe get you guys to read them. And that is Nicholas Sparks. He is one of my inspirations, and he's the reason why I started writing in the first place. And he has phenomenal writing, and he is a very, very talented author. And I'm going to convince you to read his books. Summer is ending and autumn is vastly approaching. You don't want to read a dystopian. Maybe you're not in the mood for it. You don't want to read a fantasy because, again, maybe you're not in the mood for it. Maybe you're in a reading slump, or maybe with the cold weather coming, you want to curl up with a good book. And you know what that good book is? A Nicholas Sparks book. Again, this video is going to convince you guys to maybe read a book in the fall and the summer. These books are mainly good for every season. They're good for summer, fall, winter. Summer if you want to read it on the beach, or you want to get a good read in, because these books take place in the summer. My recommendation, it's a good beach read. If you want to read in the winter, it's also good if you live in a climate where it's cold all the time and you just want to curl up with a good book and warm up under your blanket and just imagine that you're on the beach and the story, and it makes you feel good. These good books are good any type of season, any type of time of the year. I read them all year round. Even Valentine's Day, it's good to read them too. The movies come out around Valentine's Day, which comes in handy as well, which is really cool. So it's really good around Valentine's Day read if you need a good romance novel. And they're just really, really good books. And I am going to convince you to read them. So without further ado, let's get started. This video is going to be separated into 6 parts. My favorite books, the movie adaptation version of it, why Nicholas Sparks is my inspiration, and why I want you to read them. And then in short, I am going to sum up all my points, and hopefully by the end of the video, you'll be interested to pick up a Nicholas Sparks book the next time you are at your bookstore or on your e-reader. My first part is my favorite Nicholas Sparks books. Now, granted, I only really read the books because I knew that they were coming out as movies, and that's really the only time I read them, but I still appreciate his writing at the same time. I still like his books. I try to find time to read his books in between everything, and it's just with my TBR pile that's piled high. I try my best to read them as fast as I can and as often as I can. And I think that might change because I just got See Me in the mail the other day from a publisher. So I'll probably read that in the coming months, maybe. And I hope to read it even before it becomes a movie, because I want to appreciate the book even if it doesn't become an adaptation, or before it does. You'll hear me mention more of that book in my book haul, which is going to be in a few months from now. But that's the most recent Nicholas Sparks book I got, and that kind of inspired this video. The first Nicholas Sparks book I ever read was The Last Song, and it had Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth in it. Now, the kid that I was wanted to see another Miley movie that she wasn't in other than Hannah Montana. So I said, why not watch this? I mean, I heard she was in it and I wanted to see it. So I got inspired to read the book first. And I read it, I think I had to read it for a high school class as well. And I read it, and then I saw the movie, and from then on I was hooked and I wanted to read more. So I read 7 Nicholas Sparks books in total. I have all the movies, and I've watched every single one. The books that I've read. I have yet to read more. I have to read his other books, which I have not gotten to. I have not read The Notebook yet, which I will get to eventually. I gotta read See Me, which I probably read soon, hopefully. This video might inspire that. That's my story, how I started reading Nicholas Sparks books. The Last Song was the first Nicholas Sparks book I read. But my favorite Nicholas Sparks books are The Choice, The Longest Ride, and Safe Haven. And I love those books a lot. They're really good, and they were my 3 top. I had to pick, for this video, I had to pick my 3 top, and it was so hard to choose. And I have some critiques about the adaptation versions of those movies, but I'm going to get to that in the second part of this video. But right now, I'm going to tell you what each of those 3 books is about, and then we're going to talk about the movies. The Choice is about this guy named Travis, and he has his wife named Gabby, and they start out as neighbors, and then they develop a relationship, but she doesn't know if she wants her boyfriend or if she wants Travis, and it's kind of like along the lines of a love triangle. She kind of cheats on her boyfriend a little bit, and then at that point she doesn't know what she wants, and there's a lot of choices throughout the book. Her boyfriend or her neighbor. And then Travis must make a very important choice that might change his future with Gabby forever. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that is because I don't want to spoil you guys. You guys have to read the book and see the movie to get it. I don't want to give you too much because I want you guys to read it and figure it out yourself. See, I'm a little vague here. I'm trying to get you guys to read it. Is it working? Is it working? I bet it is. Next book is The Longest Ride. It was one of my favorites. The movie was also phenomenal. It's really, really good. It has Britt Robinson and Scott Eastwood in it, and it tells the story of Sophia Danko and Luke Collins, and also the story of Ruth and Ira Levinson. It follows 2 storylines. And another thing about these Nicholas Sparks books is that they're in third person, so it follows different storylines, which I like a lot. Sophia and Luke's story is similar and kind of transitions into the story that is Ira and Ruth. Sophia likes art, and she wants to be like, I think, an art exhibitor, and Luke is a bull rider. He wants to do that for his career, but Sophia's worried he's going to get hurt and everything. And then we weave into Ira and Ruth. Now, Ira and Ruth are a couple from the 40s. And then we see Ira also in the future with Sophia and Luke. But this isn't like modern day, like 2011, I think the book took place in. And then this is like 1940, so it's like present and then past. Ira gets drafted into the war, and then Ruth wants to get into art and teaching, and they deal with some struggles that some couples today may struggle with. And it's a really good story and heartbreaking. In the end, it was really sad, and it kind of teared me up a little bit. And again, I'm not going to tell you much about this book or what happens at the end, because, again, I'm trying to be vague here. And I'm trying to get you to read the book. I know it's working. Don't lie to me. It's working. These 2 stories intertwine, and Sophia reads these letters from Ira to Ruth, and she gets an idea of his story, and that's how we weave the way into the flashbacks. And that's in the movie, but in the book, it's an interesting way how they do the flashbacks. Like, my favorite element of that book was the flashbacks, which I enjoyed a lot of, and I love this book so much I would actually read it again. And I've seen the movie a couple of times, and it's really good, and the movie was phenomenal, and so was the book. I'm going to get to the adaptation version next. And my last favorite book is Safe Haven, and that is about a woman named Katie. Actually, Katie is her. I'm not going to tell you what her other name is. Again, I'm trying to be vague here. She has an abusive husband, and she escapes him to go hide out somewhere else, take another identity, and just hide away from the world and just hide from her husband and start a new life. And then Katie comes across this guy named Alex. Now, they develop a relationship, and he's previously married. His wife passed away, and he has 2 kids, and she develops a relationship with him and the kids, and they have a great relationship together. And the book was really, really good, and something happens at the end, tragedy, because let me tell you, at the end of most of these Nicholas Sparks books, tragedy does happen, and it is good, and some have good endings, some have bad. Like, The Choice was actually a pretty good ending, not that I'm giving anything away, but The Longest Ride had a little bit of a good ending, but yet actually a pretty good ending if you think about it. Again, I'm trying to be vague here. Safe Haven had a pretty decent ending, but kind of a shocking ending at the same time. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that is. She runs into her neighbor who she has, again back to Safe Haven, Katie has a neighbor that she confides in, and she helps her with everything. It really is a really good book, and let's just say stuff happens at the end that you won't see coming. So I'm just gonna let you read the book and you figure it out again, because you need to read it. You're gonna hear me say that a lot during this video, so be prepared for that. So now I'm gonna move on to the movies. Now, the movies were very good. All the Nicholas Sparks books I have read in order is Dear John, The Longest Ride, The Choice, Safe Haven, The Last Song, The Lucky One, and The Best of Me. Now, those movies, I have a lot to say, so I'm not going to really tell you much about the books. I'm just going to give you a short description. Dear John is about a soldier in the army. He's trying to entertain him. In this book, she writes letters to him, and they have this back and forth thing, and she's married. And it's a really, really good book. And it's not really on my top favorites because it wasn't my favorite book, but it was like up there. But I just picked my 3 top, and it was very hard. But that would probably be a close second. The movie was really good. It was very, very beautifully shot. It matched very well. But the only critique I have, and I'm going to mention this a lot throughout this video, is that the ending did not stick with the book. I'm not going to tell you much about the ending because I want you to read these books and I want you to figure it out yourself. The Nicholas Sparks movies I have seen, like, the ending probably changed in, like, I'm not sure about The Last Song, but I know for a fact in at least 2 Nicholas Sparks movies the ending was changed. And that really, really made me upset because I wanted to see the original ending as it was. I understand that adaptations are not going to be fit to screen like the book is. I understand that. I completely understand that in every way possible. Seeing like Divergent and Insurgent and Legion and Mockingjay. Mockingjay was good, but again, it's like seeing all these films, we know they're not going to be adapted in the perfect way that we want them to be. Because it hits me hard because it's a Nicholas Sparks book. And a Nicholas Sparks book I love, and I wanted to see it adapted perfectly. The movie was phenomenal. I give it a 7 because it could have been better. But it was still a really good book, and I liked the movie. I have it on DVD. I watched it, not a lot, but I should watch these movies more often. But I still like the book, and I like the movie a lot. Now, the next one I'm going to tell you about is, I'll say about The Last Song. The Last Song is about a girl named Ronnie who comes home with her brother to see her father. Her parents are divorced, and she spends the summer with him. And turns out stuff happens to her father, and there's a lot of heartbreak in it. I can't really tell you much about the adaptation version of it because I don't remember it much because I read the book years ago. Like, I read it like 7 or 8 years ago. So I don't really remember much about it. But I know it was a very good film. It was shot beautifully. I saw the house where they filmed it. Where they filmed it on Tybee Island. I was there. I saw the house. If you follow me on Instagram, I took a picture of it. And I liked the film. It was filmed very nicely. I liked the elements that they put in it. And I think it matched pretty well. I have to read the book and watch the movie again. They took out some details. But other than that, I think that movie's up there that matches the most. The next movie I'm going to talk about, I guess I'll talk about The Choice. The Choice was really good too. And I told you about it already, so I'm just going to go into the movie version of it. It was very well shot. There were scenes added that I kind of got worried. And then I was afraid, after seeing these Nicholas Sparks movies, I was afraid that they were going to change the ending. Because the ending of this book was really good and it was really happy. I hate to say if it was a happy ending. I just didn't want them to change it and make it worse than it was in the book. And I was just in the movie theater and I'm like, biting my nails, and I was on the edge of my seat. I just didn't want them to change the ending. Thankfully, they did not change the ending. I was so happy. I was like, oh, I had a sigh of relief by the end of the movie. I was like, thank God they didn't change the ending. I was just so happy. The ending was good, and I just didn't want them to ruin the movie with that ending. And thank God the movie was so good, and I'm glad that the movie matched. I think on my list it actually matched one of the ones up there that matched pretty well. Yes, they added some things, but on a adaptation level, it stuck to the storyline as the book went. And I'm really happy about that. And the book was just as good as the movie. Now I'll talk about The Longest Ride. The Longest Ride was really good. The adaptation was better matched to the book than The Choice was. But they changed some things, but it still stuck. Whereas in the book, Ira was talking to his wife, Ruth, in a car after getting into a car accident. and seeing her that way and getting the flashbacks that way. And he doesn't have a relationship with Sophia, whereas in the book, Sophia meets Ira, whereas in the movie, she has multiple interactions with him, and we see the flashbacks between Ira and Ruth through letters that Sophia reads with Ira, and that's how they incorporate the flashbacks into the story, whereas not doing it in the book. But I like the way that one was filmed because it was in the same type of way that the book was, but they just went in a different direction, which I don't mind. I liked it a lot. My only critique with this movie is that, again, they changed the ending. At the end, something really happy happens, and I love it so much. It was cute, and they took it out. It's similar to the end, but they just took it and they twisted it, and they added something completely different, and it did not match the end, which kind of made me upset because I wanted to see it, and I think that the ending didn't match the movie that well. In my opinion, not the way an adaptation or a movie should end like that. I thought it was kind of awkward and everything, but other than the ending, the movie was really good. I give it an 8 out of 10. It was really good. It could have been better with the ending, but better. Now, I'm going to go into The Best of Me because I have a lot to say about that film. Okay, so the book was really good. There's more flashbacks, and a lot of these Nicholas Sparks books, there's a lot of flashbacks. So, bear in mind with that when you go read a Nicholas Sparks book, and there are a lot of elements of a letter incorporated into it, too. So, in The Best of Me, it's a story of Dawson and Amanda, and they were once a couple back in the day. She was a popular girl, and he was like the mechanic guy. And then they ended up getting together and dating. Now they meet 20 years later down the road after someone that they knew named Tuck. Dawson lived with Tuck for a while because he had a bad family life. So he met this man that took him in, and then Amanda met him because they started dating, and then this man died in the future. We're getting back to the future now, and they meet up for his funeral, and they get together and they talk about the old times and how that he would never let her go and he loved her a lot, and a lot happens along the way. And let's just say the ending was bittersweet. They kept the ending. They changed the ending a little bit, but it was still the same. The ending was bittersweet, but at the same time, it tore me apart inside, and the ending was cute. And I'm not going to tell you about it. Again, I am trying to get you guys to read the books. I'm not going to tell you much. There's no spoilers here. So if you're wondering if there are going to be spoilers, this is a spoiler-free video. So don't worry about it. So the movie was really good. The book was really, really good. I enjoyed reading it a lot. It wasn't in my top, but it was in like maybe my top 10. And it was really good. I liked the book a lot. I liked the book way better than the movie. The movie, on the other hand, did not match the book at all. I got my mom to read these Nicholas Sparks books. That doesn't mean that the movie was terrible. The movie was good. It's just adaptation-wise, it didn't do well. As a movie itself was good. And honestly, I was so looking forward to it, and I was there, and I was seeing the movie in the theater with my cousin, and I was like, this does not match at all, which really made me upset because I want to see a Nicholas Sparks movie where everything matches. I am a stickler for that kind of stuff. And I liked the movie. It's just the way it didn't match. They added things, they changed things. The only thing that they didn't change was the ending. They changed specific details in the book that should have been there, and it's not my favorite on my list. On my movie list, on my adaptation list, it is like down low because it's not my favorite adaptation. But as a movie itself, it's good. Don't think I don't love it because I loved it. I just didn't like it as an adaptation. As a movie, it was fantastic. Beautifully shot. The actors were great. The acting was fantastic. It's just, as an adaptation, it did not do so well, and I did not like it at all. It didn't appeal to me because it was the adaptation version, but movie-wise, it was pretty good. I could go into a big rant about it, but this video has to stay to a straight line. I'm not going to go off topic, but that's just my opinion of the movie. Now, The Lucky One. The Lucky One was a really good movie, a good book. The book is about this guy. I think he's from Arizona, and he's moving down south. He's trying to start a new life. And then he works at this animal shelter where he meets Beth, his love interest. And I think, yeah, the guy named Logan. And they develop a relationship, but she's kind of standoffish because she has a kid from a previous marriage. And now her husband won't let her go and everything. And basically they develop a relationship, and it's a little rocky along the way, but the ending, again, it ended in tragedy. I'm not going to tell you about it. I'm not, because you know why. I'm not going to keep saying it, but you know why. The movie was really good. It starred Zac Efron, and it was really good. I think it matched, again, like the last song. I haven't seen the movie in a while, and I haven't read the book, but I have to read the book and watch the movie again, but I think it pretty much matched. I think the ending stuck, because if it didn't, I think I would probably remember. But other than that, the movie was really good. It was beautifully filmed. Zac and Taylor did a great job, and I love the acting, because I've only seen like Zac Efron like High School Musical, so it was nice seeing him in a different kind of setting as a Nicholas Sparks movie, which I was very impressed, and I loved it. And it's one of my favorite movies that he's done, and I liked the film, and it was really good. And there's not real much I can say about it, but there was tragedy, and it was filmed in a nice way, and it gave you that nice feeling. Like, the good thing about these Nicholas Sparks movies, regardless if you don't read the books or not, I'm telling you to read the books, not just see the movies, but you can do whatever you want. I'm not telling you, not forcing you to read the books, but if you see the movies, go with friends, a boyfriend, anybody, and you'll enjoy it. You could sit there, and it takes place in the South, and it can make you feel like you're there regardless of, like, the weather. Like, when I went to go see The Choice, it was, like, snowy and rainy and, out. And I felt like I was there just breathing in the fumes of North Carolina. And I've been down to the South plenty of times, and it's beautiful down there. And I felt like I was back there seeing that film. I mean, the weather might have been really bad outside, but seeing the movie made me escape all of that, and that's what reading does, too. It makes you escape to a world. And these books especially make you forget about what's going on in your life, and it makes you relax. That's why these books are so good. They make you relax. They make you want to just forget about your problems, and it's so laid back and really, really relaxing, very good reads. And they're very easy, too, because I blew through the books in like 3 weeks because they were so good. Safe Haven. Safe Haven was really good, too. Safe Haven, I told you what the book is about, so I'm going to go into the movie version. The movie version of Safe Haven was really good. It matched, I think, pretty well. It's just the thing with Katie's hair, because she dyes it and cuts it, but in the movie it was the opposite of what it is in the book, which is not a big deal. I think that one is in my top because it matched very well. The movies that I picked, my top 3, not only were really good books, but they matched most in the movies. That's why I kind of picked them, another reason why. And Safe Haven was a very good movie, too. I enjoyed it. It starred Julianne Hough and Josh Duhamel. It was really, really good. And Julianne Hough does a great job. Cobie Smulders is in it. It was amazing. I loved it. Great cast. Great acting. Again, you got the element of the South. It was such a good movie. The acting was great. The scenery they shot on the beach, and the houses, and the lighting, and everything. The directing. Everything was phenomenal. I loved every part of them. Every part of the movie from beginning to end. The books and the movies beginning to end were very good. And despite The Best of Me, and I still liked that one, it was still good from beginning to end, and it was very, very good. Which translates into my next part of this video. I want you to read a Nicholas Sparks book, and I'm going to give you a couple reasons. I already gave you numerous ones during the second part of the video, but I'm going to give you more, and then I repeat. They're easy to read. They give you a really good feeling. They make you feel happy. They're very, very fast reads. If you need a good fast read, if you're in a reading slump and you just need something to read, a pick-me-up, something to just get you going before you read your next dystopian or your next fantasy novel, and you need something good to read these books. They're very good, and they've helped me a lot through reading slumps. And after I read that book and I see the movie, I go back into like another science fiction book or a fantasy book, and I'm happy because I know that Nicholas Sparks book got me out of my reading slump. They're very, very good for reading slumps too. And especially like if you're in the summer, you're on the beach, you want to read something, or if you're in the winter and you need a good book to escape from the cold and the snow and everything, and you just want to cuddle yourself in a tight blanket and just read a book. Read a Nicholas Sparks book. And especially if it's Valentine's Day and you need a good romance novel. All these movies mainly come out in like February, so it comes in handy. And you need a good book to just make you feel good about those fictional guys that he creates, and you need a good book boyfriend or some pick-me-up with a good romance. Read it. It'll really get you going. And it's just as good as any contemporary. His books make you feel happy, and you can escape into a world that is completely your own, and it's very different from any other writing that I've read. And Nicholas Sparks was actually the first book that I actually read for fun before I started reading Divergent and Moreland Simmons and Colleen Hoover and Hunger Games, all these books. So Nicholas Sparks was the first book I actually picked up, even when I didn't like reading. I still read them, and they were very, very good, and I still read them today, and they are phenomenal, and I am very happy that I was fortunate enough to read them. Nicholas Sparks is my inspiration. I mentioned this in the beginning of the video. He is the reason why I started writing in the first place. He is my inspiration. I have not met him, and I would like to go to his book signing one day, and if I can meet him, I tell him how much I admire his work, and he's the reason why I picked up a pen in the first place. Granted, I know Veronica Roth inspired my book, but Nicholas Sparks is the reason why I started writing and why I fell in love with it. Because in high school, I used to hate homework and anything from math to science to whatever. I loved English class. I loved writing essays. Nicholas Sparks is the reason why I wrote all those essays, and I wrote a badminton essay and I won an award for it. So if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be getting this award. I wouldn't be reading his books. I wouldn't be writing. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And he is an amazing author. He's so talented. His storylines are so amazing, and his writing inspires me and makes me realize that I wanted to become a writer, why I'm so passionate about this. I don't know what I would be doing if it wasn't for him. So, I mean, if it wasn't for him, I'd probably still be stuck in journalism and not realizing I wanted to do creative writing. And I'd be a journalist working in some news station somewhere if it wasn't for him. I'm glad I'm going to creative writing. I'm going to school for creative writing. Veronica and Nicholas may be the inspiration behind my book, but Nicholas Sparks is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today. And I am very grateful that he inspired me to do all these things. Nicholas Sparks, if you're watching this video, I just want you to know how much of an inspiration you are to me, how much you are inspired my life and why I wanted to read, and everything. I'm passionate about books and reading and writing, and mainly writing, is all because of you. You're the reason why I started this. You inspired me so much, and I hope to get to meet you one day and tell you this in person, because you are an inspiration to me, and I cannot thank you much for it. So thank you for turning me over to writing and making me realize what I love most. Now, I am going to tell you guys to read a Nicholas Sparks book. Now, I want you guys to read a Nicholas Sparks book. You can either go see the movie and then read the book. I suggest that you read the book and then see the movie, because you might get spoiled and you might not want to read the book after you see the movie. Hell, I saw The Hunger Games before reading the book, and I still did that. But it might ruin the perspective of the book for you if you watch the movie first and then you read the book. But read the book first and then see the movie. Go to Barnes & Noble, go buy the book. The book is either in the front tables when you first walk in, at least in my Barnes & Noble it is, or look around the F's in the back where the shelves are, or even go to the library, rent the movie from there. Hell, borrow the book and rent the movie at the same time, or go buy the book and get the movie on Netflix, get it through Redbox, go on demand, get the movie, read it. There's ways of getting these books and watching these movies, guys. You guys are my viewers. I know you guys read books, so I'm going to tell you guys to read the book first and then see the movie. I'm not forcing you guys to do anything, but that's what I suggest you do, because you will not regret it. If you have read a Nicholas Sparks book already, keep going. Read them. I'm going to read The Notebook soon. I've probably read Walk to Remember. I'm going to read See Me. I'm going to see these movies. So if you guys have read a Nicholas Sparks book or you haven't, continue. Read them for my viewers that haven't, because you will not regret it. That is my video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys liked this little change of video kind of thing that I went with on my channel. It's not something I normally do, but I got the inspiration by filming my favorite standalones, which was Nicholas Sparks books were embedded in that video, so you can go check that other video out on my channel right now. I'm going to go more in depth into his books and tell you guys how much I love his books and how much they inspire me and how much he inspires me and how I love his books. And it's just something different that I wanted to bring to BookTube. I want people to read his books, and I hope that people do. And if you guys want more videos like this, I'll do an ode to Veronica Roth books. I'll talk about my inspiration for Veronica Roth. I will talk more about my book. I'm going to be doing a writing update pretty soon. I made a list of a lot of videos that I'll be filming that will be coming out pretty soon. I have another video planned. Even for Valentine's Day, I have a video planned that's going out there, but I know I'm already thinking ahead. The point is, there will be more videos coming out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're not following, I will list my social media. My Twitter is at LettyFan93 and my Instagram is at DivergentFan93. So follow, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Goodbye!